Game of Thrones, yeah, Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, yeah, Game of Thrones, yeah, Game of Thrones, Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones.
Welcome to Game of Thrones chat. I'm Dan and I'm unsullied. I have not read the books of Song of Ice and Fire by George R.R. Martin.
And I'm Thomas and I'm double solid because I've read the book twice.
And we are here to talk to you and to each other about episode 4 of season 5, The Sons of the Harpy.
You know the episode name. Great.
Yes, I know.
You remembered.
I have studied.
The North remembers.
And sometimes even I remember.
Yes.
Alright, we're in a fishing boat. No, we need a fishing boat.
We need a fishing
Dora needs a fishing boat.
Let's punch somebody and drop some coins on them and then grab the fishing boat and
How
sail.
many coins?
I saw at least 2 coins.
You are the expert on Game of Thrones money. How much for a fishing boat?
It's nobody knows how much it is. I mean,
Jorah knows.
okay, so let's say he dropped a couple of gold dragons. Let's say that was the price then for.
Okay.
Let's say that a gold dragon is a couple of $1,000, and then he gave him $4,000 for his fishing boat.
That's very, very lawful of him.
Or maybe it was 2 pennies, and that's like 2 apples worth, and that's horrible.
I think it's very honorable of him to give some money for the boat.
Yeah, well, assuming it's the right number of right currency and so on.
And he's going to take this little fishing boat and go halfway around the world to Marine.
Yes, that's what he says anyway. Let's see how that works.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know how he got to Volantis in the first place. Maybe he took a fishing boat the other way, so then he knows it works.
Yeah.
Or
and then he's driving the fishing boat very slowly at some place that doesn't look like the ocean really. It looks like...
Yeah, it looks very green.
Yeah, very green and like a lake, pretty much.
Yeah, it felt like we were in the Swedish lake or something.
But it's supposed to be the ocean, I guess.
Let's say it's the ocean then.
Yeah.
Let's say it's the ocean and he's sailing to Marine and it will take just the right amount of time to get there.
And he's going to Daenerys.
Yeah, well, that didn't we suspected that.
Yes,
I mean,
he's always going to Daenerys if
he
he has
says
a chance.
the queen. He didn't say
Yes.
Queen Cersei. I mean, that's his queen,
Yes.
and he will try to suck up and get forgiveness somehow. But
He has assumed that she wants a dwarf.
it's like, what does this small council lack?
A dwarf.
Yes, an angry dwarf, angry drunk dwarf.
Yeah, I don't think he wants a position on the council for Tyrion.
I don't know what he wants really. He wants Tyrion to talk, and he wants to bitch slap him, and that's what he does.
I think this could be the worst duo we've seen so far.
Define worst.
But he makes a huge mistake in allowing Tyrion to talk.
Oh, you mean that once he talks, he can talk his way out of anything?
Yes.
It's like a Bene Gesserit from Dune or something.
Yeah, and he at least makes a very, very clever deductions of what's going on.
Yeah, and he figures out that he's been captured by Sir Jorah Mormont
Yes.
by looking at the sigil on his breastplate and checking out his accent and so on.
Yeah, and he figures out what is happening and why Jorah is doing this. And very clever.
So I guess once he's not that drunk, he can actually figure things out. So he hasn't lost all his brain cells drinking from Pentos to Meereen.
Yeah, but then Jorah gets tired of all this talk.
So he tries to punch the brain cells out of him.
Yeah, and that seems to work.
Well, he made him shut up.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move to Dorne, and this is your favorite plot line, right?
I think Jaime's plan is so bad. What the hell? What is he doing?
Well, Bronn puts it pretty well. Why don't you send like 40 of me or an army?
Yeah, or just Bronn, but just don't go there, Jaime.
Yeah, the most recognizable man in the Seven
It has
Kingdoms.
to be me, without a hand.
Yeah, he's feeling bad about his father's death and he's trying to make penance somehow. But I think this is misguided. And like Bronn says, if you go with an army or go with... I mean, 2 guys with 3 hands, it's not enough.
Yeah,
To do anything.
it seems so poorly planned as well.
Maybe he just wants to die.
Do they even know where they go to shore?
They seem confused. I mean, Jaime's like, oh, is that Esteban? No, it's Tarth. Oh, okay. I don't know anything about geography. Okay, let's row ashore here. Let's hope this is Dorne.
How is he going to find Sunspear?
I guess he just tries. He's gonna follow the coast, I guess.
And then what? Then walk in and grab Marcella.
It's a crappy plan.
It's really bad.
It's not even a plan. It's just improvising.
It feels a bit like a role-playing game that, the next adventure is go to Sunspear and save Marcella. So let's go there. We are awesome. We can defeat anyone. Let's improvise.
Well, if you're like level 50 and you have a magical sword and so on, it might work, but...
Yeah, but he gave away his magical sword.
Yeah, and he's not level 50. Maybe he's level 50, but doesn't work the same way.
No.
He's not invulnerable to anyone with level... People don't have levels, basically.
Do you think he wants to die?
I mean,
So pretty
his plan is so
nasty to Bronn to bring him along.
Yes. He should have told Bronn before. By the way, I'm going on a suicide mission. And I'm going to do it. But, I mean, once they start to fight, when those soldiers find them, and they start to fight, he's trying to survive at least.
Yes.
And luckily he's able to survive because he makes the other guy's sword stick in his hand.
Yeah, new trick.
Yeah, I don't think he was trying to do that. He was just trying to defend himself.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's okay. So I'm gonna officially complain about this storyline. It's kind of weird. And
it seems so out of character for Jamie to act so randomly and.
Yeah, and this storyline is completely made up. There's nothing in the books like this.
So
I have no clue what they're thinking here.
Very interesting.
Yeah, they took his whole storyline for books 4 and 5 and they just threw it out. Then they had this instead.
And poor Bronn has to do all the work because
Yeah.
Jamie doesn't have a hand.
Jamie tries to fight with his left there. Bronn is like, okay, take care of this guy. Let's see if you can do it. I mean, Bronn could have just killed him in 2 seconds when that soldier fell off his horse.
Yeah.
It's like, you take care of him, because I felt like Bronn wanted Jamie to like actually get some real practice.
Yes.
Under semi-controlled circumstances.
Crash course.
Crash course, exactly.
And Bronn is very badass.
Yeah, well, he could have killed all 4 of them by himself.
Yeah.
If he needed to. So he's good to have along, of course.
So what do you think of Bronn's the way he wants to die?
It's a good way to die. I think it was it at the age of was it in his own keep at old age with his sons growling? What were they discussing? Some treasure or something?
Yeah, it was. I had an exciting life. I want my death to be boring.
Yeah, and Jamie, he wants to die in the arms of his love of his woman that he loves. But Bronn asks him, does she want the same thing? And Jamie doesn't know. Of course, the best answer of all is, I mean, Tyrion is asked the same thing by Shaga back in season 1, if you may remember.
Yes.
And it's like, in my own bed, at the age of 80, with a belly full of wine and a girl's mouth around my cock.
Awesome.
That's awesome. And what's even more awesome is when they recorded this scene, Tyrion kept me speaking. He kept saying a girl's cock around my mouth. And every time they did this, they would take a 10-minute break because the guy who plays Bronn couldn't stop laughing.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, so Jamie and Bronn survived their first encounter in this role-playing scenario.
Yeah, and then we see a scene with the sand snakes.
And it gets worse. This scene felt like it came from a bad fantasy movie.
Yeah, it's why are they there and under this? I mean, in the middle of nowhere, just
like the budget for locations was all spent, so all they got was a.
I guess they had to have a secret meeting out somewhere where they can talk without being disturbed or overheard.
Yeah, let's go to the sand and nobody will check there.
But they have just gotten the news that Jaime Lannister is about, and they all want to kill him. So they're just going to stand there and talk. Why don't they start searching the dunes for him instead?
Yeah, and the things they talk about at this point, they must be aware that all of them want vengeance for Oberyn.
Yeah.
But they look, I am awesome, look at me, and I am awesome, look at me.
Yeah. It's just like, okay, let's introduce some characters. Let's try to make a scene where we can do that.
Yeah, it's really very basic character introduction. Feels below Game of Thrones to have a scene like this.
Yeah, I remember me saying that episode 1 of season 4 was the worst episode ever because all they had was some character introduction and so on. But that character introduction at least was well done.
Yes.
This character introduction is just lame, I think.
Compared to the way Oberyn was introduced in that episode.
Yeah, so much better. Everybody liked him instantly. He's like, I don't know.
I'm not excited to see more of the Sand Snakes after this.
No, me neither.
So, go away. Let Prince Doran handle this.
Let Bronn, can't you kill them all with one strike? So these are supposedly then Oberyn's 3 oldest daughters. He's supposed to have like 7 or 8 daughters.
8, I think. Yeah.
But not all of them are old enough to fight, and not all of them are by his paramour, Alara. You see the oldest one, the one with the spear, at least. She had a different mother, and she's like only 14 or 15 years younger than Oberyn.
All right.
So he got started very early.
That sounds like Oberyn.
Yeah.
So let's move on.
Yeah, let's move on to King's Landing. You always get some interesting stuff at King's Landing. It is after all Cersei season.
Cersei season.
So the Iron Crown of Bravos, they want money. They want 10% of what the crown owns them. And how much does the crown owe the Iron Bank of Bravos?
We heard that some earlier, didn't we?
Well, I think the total debt. They talked about the total debt being 6 million golden dragons.
Yeah.
But I think maybe half of that, or maybe it was 2 million that was owed to the Iron Bank. So they want 10% of 3 million then or something.
So 300,000 gold dragons.
That might be it. So they can afford maybe 5%. Or Mace Tyrell thinks so anyway. And he tries to make a little joke there. And Cersei is completely unwilling to laugh at his joke. Not very diplomatic. But then she decides to send Mace Tyrell to Ironbank, to Bravos, to discuss this. And she sends Meryn Trant of the Kingsguard along.
That sounds like really bad news. Meryn Trant looks like he will kill Mace Tyrell.
Well, he won't take no for an answer. He will really make sure that Mace Tyrell goes to Bravos, at least.
Yeah, but he doesn't seem unwilling to go to Bravos.
Yeah, Mace Tyrell is like, oh, my own Kingsguard.
I'll do anything.
If they don't pay, I will have words with my sister, with my daughter. So he's easily pleased. Why can't he just laugh at his jokes and he'll be even happier?
Yes.
He could be the happiest man in Westeros.
He is such a clown.
Yeah, he's a funny guy.
And now the small council grows smaller and smaller.
Not small enough.
It looks very small, actually. Well, Qyburn is on it, right? But he's not in this scene, was he?
He was in the scene.
He was.
Yeah. Well, I think Qyburn was in the scene. And Pycelle, and Cersei, and Mace. So then Mace goes to Bravos, and then it's just Pycelle, and Qyburn, and Cersei left.
And no new Master of War.
No, Kevin left, and they haven't appointed a new one, I guess.
And no Hand of the King.
Cersei wants to be the Hand of the King,
yes.
I think.
And the King is oblivious about the fact that there is a small council.
He has more important things to do.
Yeah, like glorious!
Like Maggie.
Yes.
So then Cersei has another talk with the High Sparrow. And did you notice when she like offers him wine?
Yes.
And he's like, no thanks. She's like, and she decides not to have some wine either.
Yeah, that was fairly subtle.
I think that was because Maggie called her an old drunk last episode.
Yes.
So Cersei actually has some sense of self-critique and realizing, okay, people think I drink too much. Maybe I should cut down a little bit.
Yeah, that's good. It makes her deeper.
Yeah, I'm impressed.
It's the start of her redemption arc.
Oh, Cersei season is a redemption arc.
Yes.
Cool. What part of her body will be cut off?
We shall see.
I hope it's not the best part.
Oh.
So
credit to Jonathan Pryce for fantastic acting here in this scene.
Yeah, have you seen him in too much other stuff before, so you feel like he's that actor rather than this, or?
I think he's doing such a great job. So it seems like when they had to kill off Charles Dance, they had to put another super actor in the series.
Yeah.
So I'm really impressed. He seems very easily led, but I think also that Cersei might just think that. Mm-hmm. And he definitely seems to have his own agenda. Yeah,
you're right. He seems nice and soft and pious, and like, oh no, I'm very unassuming, and But faith militant. Oh, army in the service of the gods. That sounds nice to him.
It seems really dangerous for Cersei. She's one of the biggest sinners of all.
Yeah, I guess she thinks that she can control the High Sparrow then, or the new High Septon as he is.
Yes, and so far so good.
Well, let's see if it works or not. So then, bad things happens to other people.
Yes.
To Littlefinger's pleasure house gets smashed then. And this time they don't just smack around the High Septon, they actually start killing people.
Yeah, they seem like they would be pretty easy to handle. They come there in their very poor clothes. They have no armor. They do have weapons, but
maces, yeah.
And Littlefinger has no guards for his brothel.
Yeah, very few guards at least, yeah, it's not very well guarded.
No, it's just Oliver running things.
Yeah, well, they should have a couple of bouncers at least, but
they're
not prepared for like 20 guys with maces coming in all of a sudden. So
no, they look very determined.
Yeah, so that's
and they have amazing music. It's like Rome Total
War. Yeah, it's really ominous. The music is really ominous. So I like that whole thing there. And then Lancel gets marked with a 7-pointed star on his forehead. So he's really devoted now. And then he abducts Loras.
Yes, and that also Loras is way too easily abducted, I think. He's like, hey, I am having a duel.
He didn't kill a single person before being abducted.
No, he just wasn't aware that he was being attacked.
Yeah, exactly. He was holding a sword, and then as they were approaching, he's like, oh, I have my sword. I'm going to drink some wine now. Oh, here's my shield, by the way. And then like 2 guys comes up and grab each arm. He's like, oh no.
Yeah, and the other guys, they're also armed and armored, and they do nothing.
Loras is Kingsguard. Come on.
Yeah, and there's no fight.
Exactly.
What the hell?
Yes, it's a little bit disappointed. He should have killed a couple of people before he was abducted, before he was captured, I think.
Yeah.
But he gets angry, and Maggie gets even angrier, I think.
Yes, and I think Marjorie is cracking.
She's cracking?
Yeah, she's like...
she's
losing control.
She thought that she could control Tommen, but Tommen is just clueless.
He's so pathetic. He's
like, I mean...
Why are we not having sex?
And he goes to he takes most of his Kingsguard and some Lannister guards and goes to the Sept. He's like, can I please talk to the High Septon? No. And his Kingsguard even say, give the order and we will clear out this rabble.
Who is the Kingsguard?
Which Kingsguard is that? It could be... he had this helmet on.
He sounded and acted like Meryn Trant, but Meryn Trant has left for Bravos.
I was thinking the same thing, that he sounded like Meryn Trant, but he can't be Meryn Trant because he left. So maybe it was Boris Blount, or maybe it was one of the other ones. They haven't named... In the TV series, they haven't really named them.
I think the Kingsguard spoke the truth, that they would have made spaghetti, made a meat sauce out of the Faith Militant.
5 Kingsguards fully armored should be able to kill 20...
And they had more people with them, right? There were the 5 Kingsguard in front, and then there were other soldiers.
Lannister guards, but but they needed them for crowd control, because you have a lot of people behind them also, shouting that Tommen was a bastard and an abomination and so on.
Yes.
But it should be enough to use the Lannisters as a rear guard, while those 5 Kingsguard kills those 20 Faith Militant guys, because they have no armor and poor weapons.
Yeah, they had the high ground, but...
That's not enough.
No.
It shouldn't be enough against 5 because they have so much armor, and the bases are not very good. They have like hammers and battle clubs.
So let's consider for a while what Joffrey would have done.
He would have told his Kingsguard to attack.
Yes.
Right? And then
and the Lannister guard to attack the mob.
Yeah, absolutely. And for once, I think he would have been a better king than Tommen.
Yeah, Tommen is not doing much.
Yeah, then he goes... I mean, not only is Loras his brother-in-law, it's also part of the Kingsguard. And part of the Kingsguard, that's part of the king. You can't tolerate someone laying hands on part of the Kingsguard.
So wait, how can there be 5 Kingsguard there? If Meryn Trant has gone to Bravos, Jaime is not there, and Loras is not there.
And they said Sir Aris Oakheart to guard Princess Marcella in Dorne.
So there should be only 3 Kingsguard.
So I guess Meryn Trant was there then. And I guess...
He just got that in before he had to leave for Browse.
Yeah.
So Mace Tyrell, wait here.
Exactly.
Do final mission for the Kings.
Yeah, so he must have been there. It still doesn't add up though.
Maybe they had like an apprentice Kingsguard.
But maybe... Yeah, okay, so maybe they didn't send Sir Aris Oakheart then to Dorne. Maybe he stayed home, or maybe he came back or something.
Maybe.
But we're still lacking Jaime and Laura's. But then there's 5.
There is 5 then.
Then there's 5, yeah.
Okay, we'll go with that.
Let's cut them a little slack.
Yes.
Yeah. So Tommen is really weak, and it's like, oh, they wouldn't let me. There would have been violence. Yeah, but when will you talk to the High Septon? Oh, when he's done praying. Oh, yeah, so Maggie is really disappointed. Of course, she should be disappointed.
Yes. And she wants to leave.
Yeah.
She is leaving.
She says she's talking about the Queen of Thorns also, and yeah, I don't know what's going on there.
She's going back to the Reach.
Well, maybe it's. I mean, she's forcing Tommen to make a decision.
So it's just a threat that she's going back?
I don't know.
I have to be with my family. It sounds like... Does she know that Mace Tyrell has been sent to Browse?
She should know.
It seems like a total Cersei victory in just one episode. That if she leaves and Mace Tyrell is in Browse, then...
Yeah, I thought that Cersei was trying to isolate Maggie by sending Mace away and having Loras abducted.
Yeah.
But maybe she was trying to make Maggie leave also. Because, I mean, this goes back also to the predictions from season 1, from season 5, the first episode of this season.
Yeah, the witch.
The witch. It's like there will be a new queen, and you will be cast down as the old queen, blah blah blah. So she's trying to get rid of the new queen.
This is too easy for Cersei, so maybe it'll backfire.
Yeah, maybe it will, maybe it won't. We'll see.
It sounds like the alliance between the Reach and the Lannisters is
It's shaky.
It's shaky.
Yeah, I don't know if Mace wants to pay the whole debt, those 5 or 10% debt anymore after this.
Maybe he doesn't hear about this before he gets killed by Meryn Trant.
Let's move on to the Wall.
The Wall.
Jon is sending out for recruits.
He's sending out to the entire realm, all of the 7 kingdoms, right?
I think, yeah, he should be. He did send out to most of the houses. I think was from the north, but also some from the Riverlands.
He sent out to Lord Ashford, who is in the Reach.
Okay, and the Smallwood is in the Riverlands, I think. Someone was from the Riverlands, and then someone of course also from the north, Roose Bolton, of course.
I wonder what the success rate is for these letters.
Yeah, I wonder if it's worth the ink and the paper that they have to pay for.
Well, if they get just 10 guys, then they increase their forces by 20%.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think when Samuel said it's like, well, no, Jon said, I never heard of these houses before, and these are not the biggest houses, so I felt the same way. I'm like, wait a minute, Smallwood? I had never heard of a Smallwood house, or I don't remember even now. Was it Lord Mason, Lord Webberley, Lord Ashford, Coldfield? Yeah.
It was part of a greater process. There must be thousands of letters going out.
Yeah. Because
Sam's hand is aching.
But I mean, because every realm has like one great house, like Starks or okay, now it's Boltons in the north.
Yeah.
But then they have like 10 other houses responsible to them. Then many of those houses have sub-houses in turn.
Lots of houses.
Yes, lots of houses. And then Mel has a plan for Jon. Melisandre has a plan. She wants to have another baby with him, or I don't know, sex or something. At least.
Yeah, well, what's her goal here? Is this just a way to trying to convince him? Is she just horny? Is there some sinister Lord of Light magic plot in this?
Maybe it's all of the above.
Or is it just the tit quote for the episode?
Oh, maybe that's. She says there's only one war. There's life versus death.
Sounds easy.
So Stannis against Roose, that's life against death then? Or is it, I don't know. I don't know what she's talking about.
No.
Religious nut.
Maybe it's just her seduction act.
Yeah, exactly. So Jon is tempted, but he decides not to have sex with her. And we think that it's because of his vows, but then he says that it's because he still loves Ygritte.
Yeah.
So maybe it's a combination. But then Melisandre says something that makes you think maybe she has seen something in her flames. That's true. She says, "You know nothing, Jon Snow."
Her powers are obviously real, at least some of them.
Yeah, the shadow baby stuff is real, and seeing things in the flames, it seems also real.
Yeah.
And her friend Thoros O'Meara has been able to revive Beric Dondarrion a bunch of times.
Yes.
So the God of Light does have some power here.
And Jon is like, no, whenever people offers him stuff. No way!
Very headstrong. And then we get a scene where Stannis actually shows some emotions.
Oh god, Stannis. He's so good!
What is... come on!
He's the true king!
Now he's like a three-dimensional character. He actually has emotions other than just anger and honor.
I might have confessed this before, but he's my favorite character in the show. Stannis.
Oh, Stannis the Manis. The one true king of Westeros.
Yes.
Why is he your favorite?
I think this sort of his honor, his abidance by what he thinks is right, and his willingness to do what he thinks is right. And he's not good, not evil, just very, very lawful.
Yeah. I think that it's a hard man to love, but it's easy to respect him.
Yes.
It's he's so rigid.
Yeah.
But so honor is. Some people say that he's an ersatz Ned Stark, in that Ned Stark died, but we still want to have a guy that's all about honor, and then we have Stannis instead that we can love because it's all about honor. But
but in a very different way than Ned Stark.
Yeah, but Stannis is like, it's not as, I think sometimes Davos has to be his conscience for him.
Yes.
Because sometimes he's willing to do things that are not so honorable. This whole thing with Gendry, for example.
Together, Stannis and Davos makes Ned Stark.
Yeah, exactly. Because Davos might be even more honorable than Stannis.
Yes. He obviously needs his Davos, but that's one part that makes him interesting as well.
Mm-hmm. So two people together becoming one Ned Stark.
Yes. Making one chill beam, that'll kill them.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of people agrees with you that Stannis is a cool character.
Yeah, now we learned that he's a good father as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think this was a very nice scene.
You would, since you like Stannis.
Yes, but I like his daughter as well, and their relation.
Yeah.
It's like, he loves her, he's just this strict dad that has to go to work. Mm-hmm. can't spend time with her.
And he opens up the scene very well with saying that if you're bored, that means you lack inner resources. So it's like he starts off with an insult, but then he ends with, "Oh, I love you, blah, 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 blah."
Oh, really good.
Yeah, really nice. Love special.
Cute.
Let's move on to Winterfell instead.
Yes, in the catacombs, which we saw already in season 1, episode 1.
Yes, the minute Robert got there, he had to get down into the catacombs and pay homage to his fiancée Lyanna Stark.
Yes, and this talk about Lyanna Stark again makes me even more convinced that my theory is correct.
And your theory is that the official story is not correct.
Yes.
But Sansa tells the official story. Yes, he kidnapped her and raped her.
But Littlefinger says nothing.
He has the smallest of smirks on his face.
Yes, in a way only Littlefinger can.
Yes.
Small smirk.
Exactly the same mini smirk that he had when she said, "Oh, so you're going to marry already?"
Yes,
back a couple of episodes ago.
Same.
And he's like, "Yeah, whatever. Okay." And then he's like, "Okay, so now Sansa, I'm gonna abandon you. You're gonna have to fight for yourself."
Can she be the Wardeness of the North? Could there be a female Warden of the North?
It's anything is possible, I guess, but it's highly irregular. I mean, they would use any boy before they could use the oldest girl.
Yes.
So Rickon would supersede her or Bran.
Yeah.
Obviously Robb, but he's dead. And Jon Snow would probably get more followers also.
Yeah.
If it would be Jon Stark then.
But any Stark will do in a pinch.
Yeah, exactly. So they said, okay, so she will be probably a married woman by the time he returns.
So there will be a wedding.
And who will die this time?
Maybe no one again.
Maybe all of those Ramsay girlfriends. Or maybe not.
Interesting.
Maybe they will kill her. Or
Maybe
him.
he will flay them as her wedding present.
Oh, that would be a very nice gift, wouldn't it? I'm sure she would have.
These are all my mistresses, flayed.
Oh, he's such a flayer.
Yes.
He's such a flayer.
Flay.
He's a flayboy.
Okay. Yeah, but back to the scene. We're done in Winterfell, aren't we?
Let's move to Marine.
Yes.
So-
And here they talk about Rhaegar.
Yeah, Barry talked about it before, like, oh, I'm gonna give you tidbits of information now and then in this TV series.
Yes.
And then, well, what he said was like, well, I can't tell you everything right now, is what he said. But what it meant was that we're gonna spread it out over the TV series, so we learn more and more about
Yes.
Rhaegar.
And note there the scene before that. First we had a scene with Jon Snow, and then a scene where we talk about his mother Lyanna, and then we talk about his father Rhaegar.
Oh, well, if that's his father, yeah.
Yes.
That's the theory, but it's I support that theory as well, but it's not confirmed.
No, I heard some statement by George R. Martin that said that a lot of the fan theories are true.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and like he can't just change his books and his plans for his books because somebody figured out that his plans, like, I mean, he plays out clues. That's like, then people ask him, oh, so you're going to change it now that people figured out? It's like, well, I can't change the books every time someone figured out something.
No, that would make horrible reading, I think.
Yeah, and when he started writing the books back in the 90s, people didn't have internet.
So things were harder to figure out.
Yeah, so maybe 1 person in 10 figures it out.
People had only smoke signals in the 90s.
Yeah,
I know, I was there.
But nowadays, even if it's just 1 in 100,
Yeah.
those people can then post it online and then everybody knows.
Yes.
But back then, most people didn't realize it, so it's very different. But he can't change the story, the main plots, just because someone figures it out.
Rhaegar sounds like a great guy, actually.
And a great singer,
Yeah, and
a great fighter, great singer, great guy all around.
didn't like killing people, like Viserys thought.
Yeah, I think Rhaegar would actually have been a pretty good king.
It sounds like it.
Yeah. So
But now we have to settle for his son.
yeah. Well, that's what you think. Or you mean?
Yes.
Or you think that Jon Snow will sit on the Iron Throne?
Yes. Together with Daenerys. In a Targaryen love marriage.
Okay.
That's the way the Targaryens like it.
How lovely.
Oh, are you my brother's daughter? How are you doing?
But before that, we will see how his star, for the 47th time, want Daenerys to allow him to open up the fighting pits again.
Listen to the man, Daenerys. He knows.
And then she refuses. And then the sons of the Harpy.
Wait a minute. Before we go there, the scene with Barristan and Selmy,
Yeah.
it ends with Barristan and Selmy leaving her.
Taking a walk in the
Yes,
in the
and it
streets.
sounds like she's telling him to go sing.
Oh, that might be right.
Yeah, so did he actually get an order to go out and sing for the people?
A direct order to sing.
Go and sing for the people like
I thought it was
Rhaegar.
Rhaegar who sang. I didn't think.
Yeah, but he was there all the time when Rhaegar sang, so maybe he knows some songs.
Maybe he knows some drinking
But
songs.
he's obviously not singing to people when we see him again later. Okay,
So he's
back.
blatantly disregarding her orders.
Yes.
But before that, she's going to say no to the fighting pits. And then the Sons of the Harpy is going to turn the whole of Marine into a big fighting pit.
Yes.
And this, I felt, wow, this scene where the Unsullied, there's like 8 of them running into the back alley. And there's like 20 Sons of the Harpy.
Yeah.
And I felt, wow, finally the Unsullied get to lock shields and fight together as a team. This is what they trained for their whole life.
Yes.
And the opponents maybe twice as many or 3 times as many.
But they had daggers?
Daggers and short swords. And no armor, apparently, which is horrible against people with shields and spears.
Yes.
So this is their hour to shine and then die.
Yeah, they made a mess out of it.
Yeah, Grey Worm though, he kicks ass. Once he is alone and his friends are dead, then he starts killing people left and right. But
yes.
But his friends were easily overcome.
Maybe he was out with like the 7 worst of the Unsullied, like giving them practice.
Okay, maybe it was like new recruits, but I haven't heard anything about new recruits for the Unsullied, so...
No, are they still training Unsullied?
No,
of course they can't do that.
No, we are speculating here.
Yeah.
Maybe they were in disguise. Maybe it was like 7 something else.
They were really bad at fighting, but Grey Worm compensates.
7 prostitutes in disguise as Unsullied. Well, that's the way they fought. But the Sons of the Harpy on the other way, they fought like crazy. I mean, hand-to-hand combat. It's so scary. If you've ever been in a fist fight, you know it's kind of scary. But when you're fighting with spears and swords, that's 100 times more scary.
Yes.
And you really have to have really fanatical or really, really disciplined soldiers to be able to do this organized.
Yeah.
But these Sons of the Harpy, they're either completely crazy or they are soldiers or maybe they're pit fighters or something because they have no fear. I mean, they just run right straight into the Unsullied and get impaled on their spears, but then there's more people behind them.
It's sort of the same kind of fight we could have gotten earlier in the episode if the King's Guard fought the Faith Militant, because they seem to be about as fanatic as the Faith Militant.
Yeah, but the difference is, of course, that the King's Guard they have like plate mail all over.
Yes.
And the Unsullied are only lightly armored, and that's a big difference.
Yeah, but I was surprised at the outcome.
Yeah, you thought also that when they were in the alley that the Unsullied would win.
Yes.
Yeah.
At least they fought better than the Second Sons.
Yeah, but they were surprised. So.
Yes. Was it the same prostitute?
Yeah, it's the same as the one that helped kill White Rat.
Yes.
Yeah. So they need Barry to clean up the mess.
And how is Barristan walking around in this hot city in his full...
boiled leather and
yes, he must be extremely hot.
Yeah, but he's old. He's old. Maybe he doesn't sweat anymore. So
maybe he's cold inside.
Well, he's not that. He's like 65, so he's not ancient, but he's still not too old to fight. At least
he fights pretty hard.
Yeah, and he saves the day pretty much. Well, almost anyway.
Yeah, it was an epic fight.
Yeah, I really liked the fight. I mean, even though I felt that it was unrealistic with the Harpies being fought so well and so fanatically.
Yes.
But I still felt that it was a really good fight, and it was nice to see Barry. Barry's supposed to be the best fighter of his generation, and it's nice to see him fight.
I think he showed that.
And if he would have been fully armored, if he would have known what was going on and he had time to put on his full plate,
yes,
then he would have won without being severely wounded or killed. We don't really know.
That's the disadvantage of full plate, that it takes forever to put on.
Yeah, exactly. But he would have been almost impervious to their daggers and short swords then. They had to basically wrestle him down, and that's the only way to get to him.
Yes. It was a great fight and a great ending to the episode. And we're like, oh, are they dead? Are they alive?
Yeah, they could be dead, they could be alive. We don't know. Usually in TV series where people are wounded like that, they survive.
But this is Game of Thrones and people don't survive.
Yeah, we saw Alistair Thorne, he was wounded last season, and you thought he died.
Yes.
But he didn't die, so he was
well,
okay.
Actually, have we seen anyone being gravely wounded and then dying? Because the people we have seen...
The Hound was gravely wounded, but we didn't see him die.
We don't know.
He may still be in that ditch.
Yeah. We didn't see Sylvia Forel die, he was never wounded.
Yeah, we didn't see anything. Yeah, his sword was cut off, but that was all.
If you, the listener, can think of anyone who was gravely wounded and then died, tell us in the comments.
Yeah. So we don't know. I mean, they do have access to healthcare there. So
I really want to see the next episode.
Yeah, absolutely. And I really want them to survive. I do think they will survive. I think it takes more than just a few stabbings to kill them.
Good thing that Qyburn isn't close, so he can turn anyone into a zombie.
Yeah.
So let's check in with my predictions.
Yeah.
Well, Brienne, Ross Bolton, and Balon Greyjoy
Still alive.
still have 6 episodes to die.
Yeah.
Daenerys, Jon Snow, Tyrion still safe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Dorne is. I have bigger expectations for Dorne. I hope the plotline will improve.
Maybe there will be some really good fights. We did have a decent fight with Bronn and Jaime at least.
Yes, and I want to see what Dorne is up to. I think he's not just sitting there; he's planning.
I want to see Arya Hotha use his two-handed axe, his great axe.
Maybe you will. There's a lot of Cersei, of course. Stannis will march against the Boltons. Arya and Tyrion probably will not meet in this season.
Less and less likely.
Yes. And Brienne will find Sansa and kill Stannis is my new prediction.
Oh, you miswrote.
Yes, and Jon Snow and Melisandre, they are plotting all the time.
She's trying to plot and he's
Yes.
like, no.
Oh, that's kind of a plot.
Okay. It's plotty.
No Bran and Hodor, and I still have hope for Rickon.
Okay. Cool.
So that's it for that episode. Next time we'll talk about episode 5, Kill the Boy.
Oh.
We are on Hard Nerd Cafe on YouTube, so please subscribe to that YouTube channel. We are also on iTunes, where you can review us and subscribe to us. And that's it for this time. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Speak to you later, Thomas.
You too.
Game of Thrones, yeah. Game of Thrones, yeah. Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, yeah. Game of Thrones, yeah. Game of Thrones, Game of Thrones, Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, yeah. Game of Thrones, yeah. Game of Thrones, Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, yeah. Game of fucking Thrones. Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones. There are swords and things doing lightning tricks, and they'll take you out if you try to beat them. They'll kill you and stop you and make you Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones. In the lightning they come to take on everyone, and you know it's the Game of fucking Thrones. Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, fucking Game of.
Den är bättre.
See you in 25 years.
Ja, precis.